Hi, and welcome to the Uplift with Dabney Brice, the podcast where we'll elevate global stories by shining a spotlight on underrepresented narratives, educating ourselves about current and historical events and diverse cultures and communities. Let's journey together to step outside our comfort zones, uplift each other, and make the world a little bit better along the way. Welcome, my uplifters. It's your girl, Dabney Brice. I hope you're not disappointed, but this episode is just me, just moi. I was inspired by my last episode with my brother talking about his music journey, and I just felt like it was important for y'all to hear my own music journey and how that ties into my greater story. And I know that I have people listening that don't know me personally. So this was also a great way to get to know me better. But overall, this is very personal to me. It's not that long, but I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. And I just feel and hope that y'all feel connected to this as well. So let's dive in and let's get started. All right. So why did I guess, want to continue this conversation about music and what it means to me? Again, I mentioned this in the episode intro. Music means so much to me. Like, I can't even fully describe how much it means to me. And I guess to continue on with my story, I like the first episode of this podcast was about my background, how I got to um, where I am now, and like my purpose behind like uplifting people and their stories. And I just felt like after interviewing so many people so far and having wonderful, amazing, really thought provoking conversations, I was like, let's bring it back to me. Let's do a little check in. And I just got really, really inspired by my conversation with my brother about music and seeing how his music journey has differed from mine. Um, a lot of similarities, obviously, but how we see music is kind of different as well. And that's really a beautiful thing, and how um, flowing, I guess, music is, and how that can translate to different people. Everyone has a different type of ear for music. Punch, haha. I'm corny like that. Sorry, y'all. I had to do that to you. But so, what does music mean to me? What is my own music journey? To me, music is an old friend. It's been with and for me from the beginning. It's home to me. It accepts me for who I am. It accepts all my strengths and all my weaknesses, and it doesn't judge me. Um, it's the way in which I express any emotion that I want to. Happiness, love, anger, disappointment, even those emotions that you can't quite describe, but sometimes you just find a song that, like, they didn't write it for you. Whoever wrote it or created the music didn't write it for you, but it just feels like, okay, this, they're talking right directly to me. Um, Music is also really comforting. It reminds me of a warm blanket or a cool pillowcase, just like so satisfying, and just ah, like you just feel relaxed. Music relaxes me, it comforts me. Um, as I mentioned before, it's been with me since the beginning. It's literally in my blood. I mean, my parents met in church choir in Brooklyn. They actually didn't meet in Haiti. They immigrated to the United States separately, and they met in church through their choir. And so I feel like I was quite literally born into music. And according to my mother, I started singing when I was around 8 months old. And if you ask her, she'll tell you that while it was baby babble, like I wasn't singing in English, um, it was on pitch and on key. And so to whatever song was playing on the radio. And just overall, like my family, both sides is very musical. Um, it can get annoying, but we're quite very, very musical. We don't mess around with music. Um, and I've just been like really lucky and privileged to have participated in so many different music related activities. I grew up singing in church choirs, was in select choirs in school all the way through college and across New York State and my county. Um, I grew up doing musicals, and I also played the violin for quite a while. Basically, when you start to pick up an instrument in school, like third, fourth grade until my senior year of high school, I dabbled a little bit in piano and guitar, and those are definitely instruments I want to get back into in the future. In college, I was in an a cappella group. Shout out to them, they're awesome. And I did dance, which, along with like singing, is like those two in regards to music, those mean everything to me. And in dance, I did ballet and jazz, hip hop. Um, I had to learn tap for a musical I was in high school. And in college, I was in an African dance group, which was so much fun. Um, but yeah, I've been in music since I came out the womb, literally. um, but just like with any relationship, um, doubt and insecurity can definitely come through and try to ruin it. And as I got older, my confidence with music, especially with singing, definitely decreased. I used to be the little girl that was like, I had um, a lot of solos in the church choirs I grew up. And so, like, I was very confident with a mic and just being in front of people and singing. And I loved anytime anyone asked me to sing, I would go up and do it. Um, but I realized that I wasn't that little girl anymore. And I didn't, that little girl used to be able to sing in front of people without a care in the world. And that confidence was gone. And instead, I became really anxious, super anxious, almost to the point of nausea. Sorry if that grosses anyone out, but like I would just get really like literally sick to my stomach just thinking about having to perform in front of people. And if you know me, I always tell people, I'm like, oh, you can tell I'm nervous about something if I like cannot stop smiling and if I'm shaking a little bit. It's not necessarily noticeable, but like I get chills. I start to smile. Like I think it's pretty creepy how I smile, because it's just like if you're listening, you can't see me, but I just like cannot stop smiling. And all of this, I guess to simply put it, I just didn't think I was good enough anymore. Even though I was auditioning and getting into groups and having special parts and all these different things, I made myself believe that I wasn't good enough anymore. And I think a lot of that was also just seeing my friends that were able to afford voice lessons improve. And I've never taken a voice lesson because they're super expensive. And I just, with all the things that I was doing in school, because I am an overachiever and I was doing a million things, it just didn't make sense because there were so many more things that I could do that were free. Um, and so, yeah, I just like was very insecure and very anxious. And that's still something that I'm wrestling with. I still get kind of a little anxious if someone asks me to sing. I definitely like, and that affects your voice. Like if you are a singer and like or if you pay attention to those things, if you're nervous or you have anxiety before you have to perform, it literally like closes up your vocal cords, and like you end up not singing as well as you would if you're just relaxed and natural and having a good time. And so that's definitely something like some like vocal trauma, I guess, that I'm still learning to push through. I'm still learning to push through those fears and get over that hump, get over that. mm. But that's still something, those fears are still something that I'm trying to not really push down, because I don't know. I never like pushing down feelings, because it's like that doesn't really help. If anything, they just, the more you push down, the more it like builds up, and then like I don't know, it could, yeah, it just ends up blowing up. instead of pushing down, sometimes leaning into those, not necessarily as a way to stop you from being the best that you can be, but to like realize that like, hey, it's okay that I'm nervous, it's okay that I'm a little anxious and feeling that way. Let's acknowledge it. Let's lean into it so that you can go through it instead of pushing it down, because pushing it down doesn't remove it. It just like, you just train yourself to not think about it as much, but it's still like there. Like I said, like I would get nauseous, so like even if my brain was forcing myself to not think about it, like my body was still having that physical reaction, and so leading through it, to overcome it essentially. And it's really because I love music. So I love to sing, and this is it's just like something that I will not give up. I will literally not give up. It just reminds me of um the story. I used to get a lot of strep throat growing up, and to the point where like the doctor was like, if you get strep one more time, we're gonna have to take your tonsils out. And at that time there's that thing where it's like, oh, if you remove your tonsils, you won't be able to sing anymore. I have no idea whether or not that's true, but like that's something that people believed. And that was a concern for me and like my parents, just like, oh, like if she has the surgery. I was really young, by the way. I was in like elementary school. And literally, I refused. I was like, no, I'm not getting my tonsils out. I want to keep singing. And I kid you not, y'all, I have not had strep throat since. Now I've had sore throat, that's different, but I've not had strep literally since that time. I love music so much, I will not give it up. I don't care how I feel, I don't care what's going on physically. I will force myself to do it because I love it so much. So yeah, that's a little funny story about me. Um, Music has connected me to so many people and friends, um, some of which that are listening right now, and not just friends through like singing groups, because that's been really fun to meet people that also enjoy singing and creating music together, like especially like in choirs. Ugh, literally, like it baffles my mind. Like my ear is just like, this is beautiful. I need this all the time. So I love creating music with people, and also just bonding over people that are may not be into singing, but love music in different way, whether that's creating it or just like listening to it and listening to different types of artists. I've really loved bonding with people who like send me songs or send me playlists, and I get to discover more things, or like I get to be taken back to something through those playlists. And so yeah, I loved all shout out to all my friends, all my music friends, those that sing, that dance, that don't do either. I love y'all. Y'all are the best. Music also connects me to my ancestors. So I grew up going to a Haitian church, where they would sing different types of hymns, in this book, this really like thick black book called Chant d'Espérance. Um, and the songs in it were both in like French, and then there were hymns and songs in Haitian Creole. But that Chant d'Espérance translates to songs of hope. And so, yeah, Haitians would sing that every Sunday at church. And honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't really appreciate these songs as a child. We would sing the same songs every Sunday. And so I would just be like, okay, we gonna sing anything else? Anything else? I'm the type of person where like there's moments where I like all I want to do is sing, like listen to the same things over and over again. And then there's moments where like I need a different song every day because I can't. But now that like I think about those songs as an adult and definitely more mature and appreciative of my culture, I just think of everyone that came before me that sang these songs. And these songs are very much to sing in times of struggle, to uplift you in times of struggle, but also to celebrate in times of blessing and joy. Um, and so now I don't go to a Haitian church anymore, or as often, only when I see family. that are like that live a little bit further away that still go. But now I'm a little bit more appreciative of these songs. And when I think of these songs, I can't help but think of my grandma and miss her. My grandma, we used to call her, well, I called her Gama, and my brother and some others would call her Mama. And sometimes people would like switch. But if you're talking about Gama, Mama, um, like we were talking about my grandma. And she would start off and end her day with singing and singing these songs. Um, and funny story, she was an early bird for sure, which I feel like she kind of had to be because she birthed 10 children. My mom is actually the 10th child, the last child, 5 boys, 5 girls. So I feel like she had to sort of be an early bird. And so she would sing these songs like every day, really early in the morning. And as a kid, I again didn't appreciate it because I was trying to sleep in on a Saturday and all I would hear is my grandma singing really loudly in the morning. Um, and like our house isn't soundproof. So like that was my wake up call. She was my wake up call every day. But now I miss it because I just miss her voice and I miss her singing. Um, and it just reminds me another way in which I'm connected to music. And I think now when I sing, I can't help but think of her. Um, and like I think about how she kind of passed that down to my mom, who then passed it down to me and my siblings. Um, and again, both sides of my family are very, very musical. But I just can't help but think of my grandma, and I miss her. Um, but overall, like if you want to know me, and I mean me as my true, authentic self with no walls up or no mask on, honestly, just start with music. It's a major part of my story. And to switch gears a bit, I thought I would share with all of you 6 of my favorite songs and what they mean to me. And so, to start off, this is a song that makes me feel seen. And it's the song, again, I'm really into musicals. It's You Will Be Found from Dear Evan Hansen. If you like musicals and you haven't heard that album, I highly suggest it. It's really great. But, like we all want to feel seen. Like we all want to feel like someone notices and appreciates us for who we are. And whenever I need that encouragement, this song has really pulled me through. And it's just a reminder that not all hope is lost and that I matter, you matter. Um, and even if you're not into musicals, you should definitely listen to the song because it's just a really beautiful song. And again, it's like the power of people making music together, like the harmonies, the chords. Um, it's just a really beautiful song. So that's a song that makes me feel seen. All right, the next song is a song when the world feels like it's falling apart and people are annoying, but I'm tired of feeling angry. And this is a very specific feeling, but it just feels so real. Again, like I mentioned earlier, that I love music because there's feelings that you have that aren't like something that's one word, like happiness, joy, love. And even those feelings can have different definitions for different people and can look differently for different people. And so, yeah, like when the world's falling apart, people are mad, annoying, but I don't want to feel angry. And I feel like I feel this way whenever humans are sort of like being the worst or I'm overwhelmed by the world. Um, this song is called People by Jonathan Reynolds. And just to preface, Jonathan Reynolds is a gospel singer. And I don't know, this song just basically says that like people can be crazy and terrible, but it also leaves room for growth and grace. And people to be able to change, because we all have the potential to be crazy and terrible if we don't check ourselves or have people that love and care about us to check us too. And so this really came through last summer with all the social unrest in our country, just because I felt really overwhelmed by the world, really overwhelmed by police brutality, and just thinking that, like, oh, like, why, I guess, why do people hate people so much? Why do people hate Black people so much? And just feeling like, and not even just like hate in that sense, but there's people always there to be like, always to play like devil's advocate. And when it's like, I don't really need you to play devil's advocate. Like, I don't like, even if they have the best intentions, you're just like, I just need to just stop talking because you're annoying me. So yeah, this song has really pulled me through. And it's definitely humbled me in some ways as well. Um, so yeah, I would definitely check it out, even if you're not Christian. It's a really beautiful song. Jonathan Reynolds has a beautiful, beautiful voice. Um, and yeah, I just really love it. It's pulled me through really during really tough times. All right, next song. This is a song that makes me feel empowered, and this is Brown Skin Girl by Beyonce. Honestly, I feel empowered whenever I listen to Beyonce. I feel like that's just like Beyonce. You just like feel really good about yourself after listening to her. Even if it's like a really sad song, you're just like, yeah, but like I'm me. And like Beyonce said I'm great. So like I'm great. No one can tell me any different. Um, but as a Black woman, brown skinned girl, just reminds me to love the skin that I'm in. Black women are either in this country hypersexualized or seen as masculine and rough and tough most of the time. And I don't know, this song just allows me to feel pretty and beautiful, which is, I feel like, not adjectives that are placed onto Black women naturally. There's always just like, there's always a lot of critiques on Black women. Like, we can't be anything. Like, something's always wrong with our appearance or something. And sometimes you just want to feel pretty. You just want to feel beautiful without having to like work for it necessarily. So this song makes me, it reminds me that I don't need society or really anyone else to tell me otherwise. Like, I want to feel that within myself and not seek it from others as well. Um, so yeah, a song that makes me feel empowered. All right, next is a song that makes me feel giddy. I'm laughing just thinking about it, but it really does make me feel giddy. And that's Sitting Up in My Room by Brandy. I love Brandy. I love her music so much. I don't know. I just love Brandy. And this song, like, you know, when you have a crush on someone and you just feel giddy, like, and a bit silly and a little childish. Like, that's what this song does to me. It's fun, it's catchy, it just takes me back to middle school. And it makes me feel like a kid. And you know, days when you just want to go back and remember, like, when trivial things, like just having a simple crush, mattered the most to you. Like, nothing else in the world mattered except the crush that you had in school. That's sort of like what this song takes me back to. Just like, you know, you're just sitting up in your room, you're writing in your diary and like writing hearts, like drawing hearts all over. Like, that's what this song reminds me. I just love it. I just like can't help but bounce and groove to this song. So that's a song that makes me feel giddy. Next up, we have a song for when I'm in my bag. And if you don't know what my bag means, it literally just means like in my feelings. And this song is We Belong Together by Mariah Carey. Now, I really had no business singing this song because I looked it up. It came out when I was 9, I think in 2005. Um, but I just have really great memories of belting this song like super loud in the car, when like my parents were driving and like the radio's on, just like belting this song, like, when you left, I lost a part of me. Like, Like who was I singing about? I don't know. No one. Literally there was no one, but I sang it like I don't know if y'all have seen the music video and she like runs away from the altar to like go back with the man, like her long lost love, basically. Like I was singing it like I had a long lost love, but he didn't exist. And I still do that to this day. Like I do that today. Like it's in my bag song. It's when I'm in my feels. Um, and I feel like for me, like when I'm in my feels, it's very much oftentimes it's very much a choice. It's not necessarily like anything that like sparks it. Just like when it comes on, I'm just like in my bag. It makes me in my bag, in my feels. So that's We Belong Together by Mariah Carey. And then last but not least, just to end it on a really light note, this is like my go-to karaoke song, but it's Wannabe by Spice Girls, and but it's Wannabe by the Spice Girls. And I really don't know how or why, but I know all the lyrics to the song, including the rap and like the slams and the zig zig ahs, like all the ad libs. I literally know this song like the back of my hand. And it's not like I listen to this song on a regular basis, but like it's pretty much muscle memory at this point. And I'm telling you, I don't know why. Like there were some songs, some artists where like if I got their CD, like I would look through, you know, the book in the CD, and they would have the lyrics to every song. Like I would look through and I would try to memorize the lyrics as like just in case I went to their concert one day, I needed to know all the lyrics. But also like these were the songs that everyone was like were listening to, so I need to know. So like when I'm with my friends and we're listening to this song, they know I know my stuff. But I never owned a Spice Girls CD. I know a few of their songs, but this song magically just knew all the lyrics. Literally have no recollection. I did not teach myself these lyrics. I just knew all the lyrics. um, and just whenever I sing it too, like I'm out of breath, but I really do love it. And it's just a really great song about girl power and, you know, girls sticking together. And like, if you want to be my lover, you got to go with my friends. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts or maybes. Like, you don't like my friends, they don't like you. We have a problem. So yeah, that's that. That's those are my 6 songs. So I'll read them off again, and I'll put the links to like where you can get them on like Spotify, where you can find them in the episode notes. But that's You Will Be Found from Dear Evan Hansen, and that's a song that makes me feel seen. People by Jonathan Reynolds is a song for when the world feels like it's falling apart and people are annoying, but I'm tired of feeling angry. Brown Skin Girl by Beyonce is a song that makes me feel empowered. Sitting Up in My Room by Brandy is a song that makes me feel giddy. We Belong Together by Mariah Carey is a song for when I'm in my bag. And Wannabe by Spice Girls is my go-to karaoke song. So those are the 6 songs that really mean a lot to me. I did not purposely choose mostly women in this list. I kind of just like was whatever song that I connected to is the song that I chose. Um, and so it just happens to be women, and you know, I'm here for that. I love that. Um, but yeah, thanks for listening to me sort of ramble and talk about my love for music and why it means the world. Again, if you really want to know who I am, start with music. And so feel free to share any like songs that you connect with and playlists, things like that. Like I'm always looking for new things to listen to. So don't be afraid to share that. And just thanks for listening to me. I really, really appreciate it. All right, I really hope y'all enjoyed that episode and didn't mind that it was short and sweet, but sometimes those are great too. But it was definitely really personal for me, and I don't know, just really cathartic. It was really cathartic as well. Just sort of like outlaying all that, because I don't think I've ever really described my music journey before. I'll tell people like I grew up singing, dancing, other things, but like to really sit down, and it feels like a voice journal in a sense of me describing how much that meant to me. And yeah, it was just really good to let all of that out. For this week's Dabney Debrief, if you've been paying attention to the episode titles, all the episode titles, or at least I hope all, are related to a song or lyric that represents my guest's story or whatever topic that we talk about. Like, for example, the maternity health episode was called Ooh Baby Baby, and that was inspired by Push It by Salt and Peppa. Like, if it's not the actual song title, it's a lyric that within a song that I feel like really best represents that person, or the guest feels like this represents me and my story. And so that's just another way that you can see how music is so important to me. And I want to know about y'all. Y'all told me how music has shaped y'all's life last week, but I want to know, what's a song or a lyric that best tells your story? And make sure to head to my Instagram on Wednesday, because I'll be asking that. And y'all can submit what your songs or lyrics are, and I'll share that in my stories. So make sure to do that. But yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to today's episode. For links and resources, check out the episode notes. If you liked what you heard, help your girl out by leaving a 5-star rating and a review. For more content and updates, follow the show's Insta at the Uplift_podcast. And spread the word by telling your friends and sharing on social media. Subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. For any questions or business inquiries, you can email me at theupliftpodcast1@gmail.com. This was The Uplift with Dabney Brice. See you next time.